let's move on to the next game that we wanted to highlight. And this was kind of like a surprise out of the blue for the developer _ direct, which was a brand new Ninja Gaiden game. And basically this fantastic collaboration between Microsoft handling the publishing duties, although it is multi-platform, we should stress that, and Platinum Games and Team Ninja. Oliver, thoughts on this?
Oh, I thought it looked very good and very platinum indeed before they revealed it was platinum in the trailer. I kind of thought, oh, this looks very platinum to me. Some of the sequences in here look quite reminiscent of Astral Chain, I would say, that 2018 Switch game. Not just in terms of the gameplay, like there are some sequences in here, like the rail grinding sequences that remind me a little bit of Astral Chain, but also in terms of that neon aesthetic and the particle effects. And I don't know, maybe I could get some input from Alex, but I kind of wonder if this is maybe not the typical UE and it might be some in-house tech from Platinum or something like that. That definitely seems plausible to me, very possible to me. In particular, it does not look like the Ninja Gaiden 2 black version here, which looks like UE5. I mean, it is UE5 and it looks like UE5 to a large degree. Here, it looks much more platinum-y, and I kind of, again, I'm just reminded, the shader work, everything here kind of reminds me a little bit of Astral Chain, although more realistic than Astral Chain. Does make me think it could be that tech, but I don't know what you think there, Alex.
I was thinking the exact same thing, and there were some question marks in there still. I think, like for example, if it were UE5, we would see a very different indirect lighting situation, even though this was mostly taking place at night in like neon, escapes. You could still see like legacy SSAO and just kind of like unplaced lighting characteristics of things, like just like where's this light coming from? And that, to me, that's fine though, because they're targeting 60 FPS on modest hardware, like most Platinum games do, and that's all fine actually. But there were some of the question marks for me were, there's a number of points in the trailer, like I think there's one where like the main character, whose name escapes me, is sliding down like rain slicked kind of like breaking bridge or something like that, or like a decline, and you can see like on this decline there's reflections of some distant lighting features, and they kind of have like a laggy TAA look to them, which is reminiscent of what you would see typically less with SSR but more with RT reflections. And that was a little bit of a question mark for me, because Platinum really hasn't gone into higher rendering features in a lot of their games. And that would be a first, I think, as far as I know, or at least as far as I can recollect. And I thought that all looked pretty great. I mean, when you did do the back-to-back in terms of visual feature set with Ninja Gaiden, or Gaiden, however you want to pronounce it, 2 black, I thought the remake of the old game did look visually like, I was like, oh, I love the UE5 feature set in these aspects. So I think the remake did look visually better, but performance is going to be a whole other question, of course, as well as image quality. So I think this looked good, and I was really happy to see this series revive, and I'm happy to see Platinum working on stuff. It seems like they've kind of had issues lately. Also, Team Ninja in general, I don't think they don't miss a lot. They're actually pretty competent, so this should be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's also great to see Platinum working with Microsoft again after the Scalebound cancellation. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about this. I'm not a huge fan of the series, but I do appreciate that many people love it, and it's great to see it back. And in terms of what I am seeing in the trailer, it's just like classic Platinum / Ninja Gaiden, etc. So I'm quite happy about this. I'm not really too worried. It's similar to Stellar Blade, right, where people kind of misconstrued our comments by saying that it wasn't, pushing the state of the art in technology. It didn't have to. It had great design and it was super performant. That's kind of fine. That's absolutely fine. And I'm seeing a similar thing here. So yeah, looking forward to this. The remaster that they quote unquote shadow dropped. I do love that that sort of that phrase there. It's kind of bizarre, but
shadow drop.
That's some sort of MI5 Black Op.
It is.
But we had some questions as to whether we're going to be looking at that, and John basically DM'd me on Slack last night saying I've got to look at this. So it's going to happen. So yes, Xbox, PlayStation 5, PC. Some complaints about the Game Pass version not having DLSS. I'm not sure whether that's common to the Steam version, but apparently not. And yeah, obviously there's going to be PlayStation 5 Pro, Xbox, etc., etc. So do look forward to that.